Hey, what's up, everyone? Thank you for coming back and hanging out with me. I'm here today because this past weekend was Monster Mania, and this is a really cool convention that we have been attending for years here in South Jersey. And it was really cool this year because we actually, now, this is the first one since, but we actually live right down the road from the convention. It's about a, 2-minute drive for us. Like, realistically, if we wanted to drive or if we wanted to walk to the convention, we could. But it comes around every year, twice a year for our area. So it comes around in March and it comes around in August. We usually attend one of the two, typically the March convention. But if you've never been to a Monster Mania con, it's pretty incredible. It takes place at a local hotel. There's a ton of actors and actresses and all kinds of cool people there, as well as tons of vendors. Vinegar Syndrome, Severin Films, Diabolic DVD sets up there because they're local. They're in the area. So it's a really cool convention, and every year we go, and we're not really as much autograph people. I don't really feel the need to wait in line and meet somebody for 10 seconds, but there are people who love doing that, and lines every year for those are massive, as again they were this year. So we went yesterday. We took our niece and we had a really good time. We had to leave for a birthday party, but yeah, it was a ton of fun. Like Monster Mania, we spent a bunch of money. We got a bunch of really cool stuff, and that's what I'm here to show you today. So we went yesterday morning. We shopped around, and I actually had a really cool chance to meet up with two YouTube friends of mine. One of them being Tim from Tim Talks Talkies. We got to hang out for a good bit of time. And then eventually, because this man is always late, Mark from Tales from the Shelf showed up. I'll post a picture in here somewhere of us. But that was awesome. One of the absolute highlights of the day, hanging out with those guys. And we just kind of shopped around, checked some things out. I know Tim's got a video coming out at some point, so make sure you keep an eye out for that as well. But I'm going to go over all kinds of stuff that we picked up, from just like posters, Japanese promo books, which I'll dive more into those, and of course movies as well, which was my bread and butter. I basically, when I enter Monster Mania, I hit 3 or 4 certain tables kind of like right away. I hit Vinegar Syndrome, who for some reason didn't open until after we left. I hit Severin, I hit Diabolic, and then that's to the point where you can just kind of start perusing around the vendors and stuff. So it was a lot of fun. So let's dive into the first batch of stuff. This is the stuff that Erica picked up. So let's kick it off with this little t-shirt here. This was really cool. Erica is a massive fan of the Universal Monsters era of horror. So she picked up this t-shirt from a local vendor. And this is for Vampire Circus. I hope this fully shows up. Love the colors on these shirts. Really good quality, super soft. This vendor, I actually got an Evil Dead 2 shirt from last year, and she got a shirt for The Craft from him last year. So he's always got a ton of great stuff at his booth. It's a very overwhelming booth. You walk in and it's like just t-shirts everywhere. It's very, very overwhelming going into there. So, and then this, I was not with her when she bought this, but she showed me afterwards. This is I guess a pennant? Is that what they're called? Pennants? But for Ghostbusters. Check this thing out. I'm going to try to cover my face, that way you can read it. Yeah. Bustin' makes me feel good pennant. So we're actually going to hang this right next to the TV, right above our In Search of Darkness poster. So that's so awesome. Oh, God. I can't wait for family and friends to come over and get a peek of that thing above the TV. Another cool random find. So Erica's actually in the process of collecting all of the Goosebumps books for her niece when she grows up. We want to be able to give her basically the collection, and I know they've become super rare, really, really hard to find. And if you do find them, they're expensive. Just how things go. And she found this one at a local booth. This is Egg Monster from Mars. So check that thing out. Awesome addition to the Goosebumps collection for little Remy. So that's awesome. And then this here. This is... So, when I was a kid, which is in the 90s, I heard of my mom would always talk about this haunted house that was in Wildwood. Wildwood, a local beach. And she always told me about this haunted house that was there. She always said it was called Dracula's Castle. I've heard a couple of different names of it. But it kind of became a little bit notorious because it burned down due to arson. And I don't remember the exact details. I'm pretty sure... I think somebody lost their life in the fire. Somebody who was staying... Like somebody who was homeless at the time who was staying inside of the attraction. If not, I could be 100% lying. But yeah, this notorious haunted house. My mom used to tell stories of it, and I heard it from Erica's parents as well. And at a booth, she found this kind of 3D art photo. And she had been looking at this for a couple years, and finally this time it was marked down enough for her to be like, I'm going to grab it. And I'm going to try to show this off the best I can because there's going to be reflections and stuff in it. But this is for Castle Dracula in Wildwood, New Jersey. This comes from a company called Popsic Art. So I hope that's showing up all right. It's really cool. It's a 3D print, so if you look like this, you can see the layers of it. But super cool piece of history. A, for a haunted house. B, for New Jersey and Wildwood, which is a frequent for us. We're there all the time in the summer. So super cool addition. We're going to find a place probably like right under the TV or so to have this up. So let's check that out again. Awesome. I'll put the website down below for you to check out the other work that this company's putting out. They do some really cool stuff. So we'll put that there. And then we get into the really fun stuff. So it was, what, a year ago? I think it was the last Monster Mania. I showed off a bunch of Japanese promo pamphlets. There is a vendor at Monster Mania every single year who actually travels to Japan and brings home these Japanese promos. They're kind of like playbooks. So when a movie is released in Japan, accompanying that release would be these promo books, and you can spend, which it looks like on average is like 9,800 yen, which I actually like converted, and it was like $66. But I think that conversion rate's a little off. But you could actually purchase these accompanying books that give you tons of insight on the movie, the cast, the production notes, interviews in some cases, photos, just all kinds of stuff. And we got talking about these last night because these are really cool, but people are going nuts in the U.S. over popcorn buckets and all kinds of stuff, which I agree, they're awesome. And they're expensive. Like, those are not cheap by any means, those popcorn buckets and stuff. But if studios in the U.S. partnered with a printing company to print stuff like this for the U.S., I think it would be a giant market. Because I know we spend a lot of money on this vendor stuff every year. Other people spend a lot of money. He sells a ton of these promos here in the U.S. We see people all day long just sorting through all of the stuff that he has. So I'll show you what we picked up this time. And I'm actually going to do another video probably later this week going over some of these in more detail, showing them off. These are in Japanese. We have used the Google Translate camera to read some pages and stuff, but these are in Japanese. These are just super cool pieces that I think we're going to put on like floating magazine racks, but these are the ones we got this time. So we have Platoon. Check out that front there. This is, I don't know, probably 12, 13 pages or so. We have Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver. These are old. I mean, these things smell old. These ones here, at least. So that is the back. And again, only like 10, 12 pages, but on the inside you have all kinds of write-ups and stuff. So this one, obviously a favorite of mine. I have one for Jurassic Park, so had to get one for The Lost World. It's a little thicker. This is cool because I actually went through this last night and I actually have, where's it at? Like a Dinosaurs in the Lost World page. So super cool. These little, not even little, these pamphlets. I also got Jurassic Park 3. Check that out. I don't love Jurassic Park 3, but I think Joe Johnston did fine. It's okay. It's definitely better than Jurassic World Dominion. For sure. But yeah, again, 10 to 12 pages. Really cool pamphlet there. Erica found all of these, but this one especially. I'm a big hit. Super 8, the J.J. Abrams film. This has become one of my favorite films ever. every year I rewatch this and I just fall in love with it more and more. So to have just a really cool piece like this in the collection for a movie that I appreciate so greatly is super cool. And this thing is mint. It is glossy. It's in perfect condition. So super happy to have that. We have one here for Cujo with some really cool work there on the front. And then you have just a plain back there. We have the 70s King Kong with Jeff Bridges and Jessica Lange. Actually introducing Jessica Lange. Which is super cool. Here is the back of it. Dino De Laurentiis produced. Super cool there. And then I'm a Lynch fan. I would call myself a moderate David Lynch fan. But I've never seen Twin Peaks. And we found this one, or she found this one for Fire Walk with Me, which is the movie for Twin Peaks. So super cool. Love the colors. Here's the back of it. This is the show that we will be diving into. So, and you'll see why that's cool in a second. This one here for Scream. Check this thing out. Sorry about the glare in there, but there's your front and your back. And again, this one's a little thicker. All kinds of stuff in here. I think these are scene breakdowns in here. There's the cast, the crew, interview with Skeet Ulrich, interview with Nev Campbell in here. So super cool stuff littered throughout this thing. What's really cool is this isn't obviously this was a mass-produced signature, but there's a little note in here from Wes Craven that says, "Thank you, Japan, for all the love and hospitality," with his autograph in there. So super cool find with that one. This one was probably the find of the day at that booth, and even the guy who sells these, who finds these, was like, "That's a good one." He's like, "And that's a first print. That's a really nice one to have." And that's for Eraserhead. This thing out. There's the back with the poster art. And this is really cool because all of the obviously Eraserhead was in black and white, but all of the everything on the inside is kind of like a silver foil, so it pops really nice because the whole entire thing is in black and white. So it pops really nice. This is from a company I want to research more called Cinema Rise, who put these out. So yeah, super cool with that. We have this one was interesting. This is also Cinema Rise. This is number 7. This is for Blue Velvet. This is an odd height, this one, but this is for just Blue Velvet. And you go through and there's photos. Dennis Hopper. All kinds of cool stuff in here as well. We have George A. Romero's Day of the Dead. And what's really cool about this is that the back of this is actually the cover of a Japanese Fangoria issue with spotlight on Tom Savini. So super cool back there. One thing that's cool about these is if you go to the back, just like some of the advertisements, like here's an advertisement for the soundtrack on the back. So really cool stuff littered through here. And then last but not least, this one's definitely the oldest of the bunch. This is Enter the Dragon. Super cool coloring on this one. So really happy with these. Again, I'm going to do a full video just kind of breaking these down. We have probably close to 50, 60 of them now. There's a huge pile to my left over there that we're adding these into. So super happy with those. And then we have a poster here. This is a movie I'm not familiar with, but Erica loved. I'm going to try to show off this whole thing. This is just a mini poster for Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. So we're going to get this thing framed and hung up somewhere. After she showed me this, she proceeded to then show me how ridiculous the Smog Monster is. And it's flying form, flying around. And Dracula with his, or Dracula, oh my god, Godzilla with the man in the suit movements and everything. So super goofy. But those are all of the non-movie pickups. Those are everything that she grabbed. So let me go and grab some of the movie pickups off the shelf. So, like I said previously, I was a little disappointed. I don't know what was going on with Vinegar Syndrome. They had all their movies out, but they were covered. There was nobody there manning the booth. And I actually spoke to somebody later in the day who said that they ended up opening up. But I ended up only picking up 4 titles, and these 4 titles I think were $150 total, which expensive. That's the day to spend money, so I don't really care. But I have 2 different companies here of titles that I picked up. First ones I'm going to show off are from Scream Team Releasing. And they're there. They weren't there last year. They came this year. I was hoping that they would. They're probably most well known for the 1031 anthology trilogy. And even more so probably for the Barn Part 1 and 2 they put out on like indie horror films. So I stopped by their booth and I picked up a couple like limited edition slipcover releases that I've been looking at on the site that I was happy. Like, it was one of those things where I was like in the moment. I was just like, I need to grab these now. Both of them I don't know anything about really. But the first one being this here. This is Back Road. And this is an X-rated director's cut. Yeah, X-rated director's cut. I don't know what's happening here on the back, if you can see that. But some crazy stuff, and then you slide this off, and this is the inner artwork there. Sorry for the glare. But this is supposedly a girl and her friends head to the country for one last post-college party. Things take an unexpected turn when their drug-filled journey leads to a deadly encounter with a local boy. And basically, local hillbillies set out for blood. And this is... There's actually a pull quote back here from Pop Hard that says, if you want a violent and brutal flick, Back Road is the one for you. So this is from 2021, directed by Drew Pizzo. The version too extreme for streaming. So I grabbed this. I'm really... Scream Team stuff is sort of love or hate. I don't really ever feel like mid on any of their stuff. I haven't watched enough of them to be like a true fan or not. I just love good indie horror, and movies like this kind of sound right up my alley. So I figured I would give it a run. And then again from Scream Team Releasing, this is actually their newest release. It just came out this week, and I was happy to see that they had it. And this is Cryptids. Check out that slipcover there. And this is actually starring Joe Bob Briggs. There he is up there at the top left. And you slide this off. This is the cover probably most of you will recognize. It's the one going around on social media. Right there. Sorry again for any glare. But this is an anthology film that supposedly really harkens back to like the Monsters TV series and practical effects. Just on the back here, there is 7 photos of some pretty wicked looking practical monsters. So I'm excited to check this out. Like I said, this just came out this previous week. The guy said they just now started shipping. So I was happy to get my hands on it and check it out. And then, of course, you guys all know my love for Severin. I actually have the February showcase for Severin coming out this week. Make sure you keep an eye on that. I'm going to be covering Hotspur, the Scavengers, and Lola, which was their February bundle. And then I just pre-ordered their March bundle as well, so that'll be on the way, kind of like beginning of April. But when I went to the table, I had a really good conversation with the Severin employee who was at the table, and he kind of gave me like some insight on some out of print stuff that he had some kind of final editions of. So one of those I picked up, I've been wanting forever, is Dr. Butcher MD, otherwise known as Zombie Holocaust. And this is really cool. This is a thick case here. So this is, let's see, a Eurotrash film. So this is actually one movie that was known as Zombie Holocaust, which then a notorious American distributor would re-edit and retitle as Dr. Butcher. So now this is both cuts of that movie on 4K. And what's really cool is if you pop this open, and this is what, 4 disc set. Inside of here there is, I don't want to unstick it. Oh wait, never mind. It just goes like this. You pop these open. There is a barf bag. Check that thing out. So, super cool. I've been meaning to get my hands on this one for a while and check it out. I know Richard Diaz had some great things to say about it, and he really kind of inspired me to seek it out and look for it. And kind of got some insight from the employee that was there that this was very low in numbers, so I decided to pick that up, put that in there. And then last but not least, this is the one that I was most excited to find, and I actually went to the table, bought this, and then I came back to the table some time later, and all of these were sold. They were gone. So that's it. It was gone for good. And that is Fulci's The Psychic on 4K. Right there. And there is the back. And this is the deluxe edition, so this is a rather large slipcase that pops out. On the inside you have your booklet. And then you have your 4K on the inside. One thing that was really cool, so this is a Fulci film that I'm not overly familiar with. So I'm excited to check this out for the first time. But the thing I'm most excited about is that this is the US premiere. I know that since then a separate disc has come out of it, but this includes the 2021 documentary Fulci Talks, which I've been wanting to get my hands on and wanting to check out. So I'm super happy I ended up getting it in this limited edition release from Severin. Slide that back in. Nice. Very happy with this one. But yeah, that's the Monster Mania haul. Another one has come and gone. Super, super excited about what we picked up. I don't know if we're going to be attending the second event in August. Probably not. Don't really want to grow tiresome of it or anything. You know, keep it like a March event. And it's really cool too because we bring her niece as well. So really cool to have her there and kind of be introducing her to more of these things. So a ton of fun. But I got a couple more videos dropping this week. I have the Severin showcases coming out. Also, we'll be doing a video on the Japanese promos. If you went to Monster Mania, let me know down below what you picked up. And did you have fun? Because it's such an awesome time. It's a great convention. It does get a little crazy. You know, Tim and Mark and I were talking for weeks leading up to the convention. And once you're there and you're in line for autographs, we had a birthday party to go to. So once you're there, things are really hectic and crazy, and we're moving very, very fast. But I have some more stuff coming up with Tim and Mark soon. We're going to be doing an archive trip pretty soon, so we'll be shooting some stuff on that. But thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. I'll catch y'all next time. Bearded Film Guy out.